Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Philosophy, also a fellow at the NUS Teaching Academy. I'm very happy to be here to share with you the latest developments with generative AI and how we can use it for teaching and learning. Yeah. So many of the new applications right now I think for the longest time we've been playing with 3.5 because that is the free version, and a lot of the new updates, the new features have been rolled out very quietly. Some of them actually went under my nose. I didn't realize it until people asked me and I went to explore, So I want to show you what it can do now. It can be a bit scary because it has come so far in just 1.5 years. Yeah, it's just 1.5 years and already there's a lot of things that it can do. So without further ado, let me show you what it's capable of, alright? So let me start first with one example, which is PowerPoint slides, yeah, because we have to do a lot of slides for lectures and talks, right? This is what it's now capable of doing. Like here you have a prompt, imagine your professor of psychology generates slides with the header and bullet point for introduction lecture. And I say, give me image prompt for each slide, yeah? Now, as you can see, it's producing the content for each slide, yeah? Slide 1, here's the title, here's the content. Slide 2, here's the title, here's the content, right? This one, ChatGPT 3.5 has it already, right? So what is new? Yeah. So let me show you now. You can write this prompt: export the above content as a PowerPoint file that I can download and edit. And this is a new feature that is in GPT-4. It can write its own Python code. It's very scary because now they have equipped ChatGPT with the ability to write its own Python code to do anything it needs to do, right? So this is the PowerPoint file that it generated from the earlier content, right? And then remember I asked it to create image prompt for each slide, right? So I can follow up, I copy and paste each image prompt, and it can produce the image that I can then insert into my slide. Just like that, yeah? So, and then I can repeat for every slide, and let me just show you. So this is the first slide, this is the second slide, third slide, fourth slide, fifth slide, sixth slide, seventh slide, eighth slide, ninth slide. Wow, amazing, right? Yeah. So this can already be the basis for something else that you can do. You can use this and then maybe change the points or whatever. And now GPT-4 has image generation ability. So actually for myself, nowadays when I'm producing slides for talks and lectures, I don't need to Google here and there and find copyright-free images. I can just use GPT-4 to generate whatever images that I want to use. Yeah. Now, here's what else it's capable of doing. It has vision abilities. It can see, and with Python, it can do annotation. Yeah. So let me show you an example. I'm going to upload a picture of a cat. Okay, and I ask, what do you see in this photo? All right. So it's able to look at the photo and say, I see a cat. This is on the it creates a cozy and ambience. There's a knitted blanket and everything. And then I say, draw a circle around the cat. Again, it look at it, it provides the parameters, it use Python to draw the circle. Of course, you can say, this is not perfect. This is not perfect, right? It draw a circle at the ear, but it's able to more or less get the sensing where the cat is. Yeah. So what it means is that this is what it's able to do now. In the near future, its capability at annotating images is going to get even better. And actually, if you know how to do all this coding and stuff, you can access GPT-4 vision abilities with coding through the API and actually train it to be better at doing the detection and annotation. Yeah. Okay. So what else can it do? You can get it to analyze a passage and draw diagrams. This was started because one of our colleagues from CDE asked me, hey, I need to draw a diagram for the final exam. Can I get ChatGPT to draw a diagram? So I went to search, and this is what I can do, right? In this example, I'm going to give it a story about people who know each other. There are 10 individuals in this story, right? In this town, okay, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Clayton is the math teacher, blah, 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 and these are all the students, right? So now, the prompt that I have, I'm asking it, analyze this story and tell me who knows who. And give me in the form of what is called mermaid code. I'll come to mermaid code in a bit, right? But it has analyzed the story and it's able to tell me who knows who is connected to who. And this thing that you see over here in the black, that is what is called mermaid code. Now, what is mermaid code? Mermaid code is code that you write on this platform that will then help you to draw diagrams. So if you know mermaid code, then you can actually technically you can get it to. Wait, let me just pause over here. Yeah. So there's a variety of diagrams that you can draw on Mermaid Code. So instead of learning how to code it yourself, you can actually get ChatGPT to write the code for you and get this platform to draw the diagrams for you. Now, I believe this might be useful for people in design and architecture because there are some tools out there where the diagrams are drawn through text codes, like coding syntax. So if you can tell ChatGPT what exactly is the platform that you're using or what kind of code you need, it can do it for you as well. Yeah. Okay, then I learned also that it can analyze charts. So here is a screenshot of a chart. This was done by the LSAT Applied Learning, the Institute of Applied Learning for Education. So they did a survey on 2,500 of our year one students, okay? And basically they found that the majority of students, when they got a bad grade, they blame themselves. If they got a good grade, they said it's due to luck. Yeah. So I feed this diagram, this chart, ChatGPT can look at it and interpret the chart for me and says, it's essentially what I told you just now. Yeah. Okay. So now, what else can it do? Now with Python.
Sorry, Jonathan, you mean you
Yeah?
just upload that chart only, is it?
That's right. I upload the screenshot of the chart.
And nothing else?
Nothing else, just the diagram. Now, one of the things I learned also from a colleague in business, if your chart is very well labeled, you can actually get it to reverse engineer the chart and export it as an Excel file for you. Yeah. So in this case, the chart is not well labeled. So I got it first to do an approximation. And from the approximation, now I say export this as values in an Excel file. Okay, so now I use Python to export. I click the Excel file, boom, I got my data. Yeah. Mind blowing, right? When I first discovered all these things, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Do you all do qualitative data analysis? Yeah, some of you do, yeah. So like student evaluation or maybe cost survey, mid-cost survey, right? So it turns out it can do qualitative analysis as well. So let me show you an example. This is my cost survey. I have an Excel column. One of the questions is like, any other remarks or something like that, right? So I can take up that whole column. Okay, so this is what did you learn from this course? How did it help you, right? Okay, then I feed this whole Excel file into ChatGPT-4. And I say, okay, analyze this Excel file. Okay, and then it says, okay, how would you like it to be analyzed? And then it even suggested, would you like a word cloud analysis? So I said, yes, give me a word cloud analysis. So it's running the Python. Okay, they said, then here's the word cloud they produce. Now, we can go one step further because I know some of us, we do like thematic analysis. If you saw the prompt, ChatGPT-4 actually said, would you like further analysis? Yeah. Then I say yes, and it's able to do a thematic analysis. Ta-da! So, okay, so it's if on topic 1, focuses on critical thinking, real-life application. Topic 2, on the module's impact. Topic 3, on the social and collaborative aspects. Topic 4, on the practical skills. Topic 5, on the usefulness of coding and the other skills learned in the course. Wow! Isn't that amazing, right? Now, I show you one thing that has made my life more difficult. Because it can analyze Excel file, right? Means it can do my assignments now. So let me show you. This is pre-tutorial 1 of my course. So as you can see, this is the Excel file. The first spreadsheet is, put your name, put your metric number. Second spreadsheet explains all the other spreadsheets. Then the third spreadsheet talks about has data about the interns. Fourth one is the sales data. Fifth one is an event log. Basically, the scenario is if they go in and out of the room, there's an Excel file that will capture all this data, and the last spreadsheet contains the room serial number, the room ID, and the actual room name. So I say analyze this data set, and guess what it says? It says it looks like this is an assignment. What exactly do you want me to analyze? So I say, okay, give me a chart showing the net sales made by the interns. Okay, so it's writing the Python code now to first find the spreadsheet that contains the net sales. Okay, so it found already, and then now it's going to tabulate the net sales. Okay, and then so now it's tabulating and producing the chart. There we go. I can go one step further. Now I say, actually, I have a spreadsheet with the names. I don't have to see serial number. Can you replace the serial numbers with the interns' names? And it can do that. It knows how to find the spreadsheet and replace the serial number with the names. Oh yeah, I want to draw your attention to this copy code. So basically, if the code works for you, you can actually copy it, and you can use it in the future for other applications on similar data sets. There are times where I run this, and what's interesting is sometimes you create errors in the code, and ChatGPT will say, oh, I made a mistake, and then it will rewrite the Python code. Yeah. Okay, so now it has found the names. Now it's doing the mapping, and now we have the names already. Yeah. So there are a lot of other applications lah. But one thing I want to ask is this lah, because I was exploring this with a student, and my student asked me, how do I know that the answers are right? And I said, that's a very good question, right? I said, I know because I do programming, so I know what the code is doing. I can reverse engineer the code to understand the methodology. And if I know the methodology, then I can evaluate whether the methodology is sound. And then I throw the question back to the student and I ask, do you know? Is there any way for you to know? Do you know coding? Then she said no. Do you know data analysis? Then she said no. So I asked her, how would you be able to evaluate this? And her answer is, well, basically, I don't know lah. But the more disturbing thing for me was actually I demonstrated this elsewhere to people, and some of these people have PhDs as well, and they decided to try their own work. They feed the Excel files into GPT-4, and one of the scary things that came out of it was that people were saying, some of them were saying, hey, ChatGPT said all that I would have said. I can't find anything else to question. And then the funniest response is, oh, okay, I got nothing to do already. Then that bothered me because there were some activities that I created that also got similar responses from them. And I knew that at that point I can be facilitator and tell them, hey, have you thought of this? Hey, have you thought of that? It doesn't have to be domain specific. It's just, oh, have you considered these other perspectives, right? So it's less the case that ChatGPT can answer everything. And it's more to do with whether or not, do we have that questioning or curious disposition? Yeah. I know I understand Don shared with you all the last time, Don talked about this thing called the illusion of finality. That sometimes the answers can look so polished that we take the answers, we treat the answers as final. And that happens to me too, I like to think of myself as a very analytical, critical person. But recently something happened. I went to the Netherlands, okay? And let me just show you an example. This is not ChatGPT, right? This is Google Translate. Here's a menu, all right? Of course, asparagus, well, there's a picture of asparagus, right? And then I was trying to decide what to order. So I used Google Translate, which is also an AI, and it translated this thing, asparagus met Zwezeric, as asparagus with sweetbreads, yeah? And I thought to myself, sweet bread is a wonderful thing to eat. I think I will try asparagus with sweetbreads. I said that aloud, and my Dutch friend actually stopped me there. He said, hey, wait a minute, that's not sweet bread. I was like, what? That is cow's brain. So now, why am I showing you this? The idea is that there is something about the way we interact with technology that makes us very complacent. I was like just slapping my forehead when my friend told me that is not sweet bread. But how is it that when I'm normally very curious, took it for granted? Yeah. So I think we can take some ideas from the philosopher Martin Heidegger, right? He says that technology reduces reality based on what we choose to review through the technology. For example, I give you an example. There is me, how I choose to review myself on LinkedIn, which is this screenshot over here. And there's also the me in real life, which you are experiencing kinda, online now, right? But when you experience me as me, I am curating what I want to reveal to you, but you are also experiencing things that I did not intentionally curate. Yeah, like for example, maybe you see in the background, oh, there's a music instrument. Oh, okay, maybe he likes music, right? There are things that we can discover in a real life setting that we did not intend originally. Yeah. Now this is important because there are things in the offline world that enable us to have that discovery, right? How do we put it back online? How do we integrate some of these things in our AI usage so that we don't make that mistake of accepting the answer very unquestioningly. Yeah, how can we enable this kind of discovery? Yeah, and are there general skills that we can equip learners for this kind of self-directed learning, self-directed questioning? Yeah, I don't have an answer to this. I'll be honest with you. At the moment I don't have. All I can think of is maybe we need more self-reflection. But we can open this up to the floor later for discussion. Yeah. Now let me just continue and talk about other applications. All right. So MCQ generation. We can take, here's an example, here's a PDF, very long PDF, right? You can see over here, wow, very, very long. Yeah. This is taken from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. I can feed it into ChatGPT and say, hey, come up with an MCQ question. Okay, imagine you're a professor of philosophy, generate an MCQ with 5 options, 1 correct answer. Okay, and it's able to do that. Yeah. So I have my question, I have my options, I have my confounders, and it will tell me what is the correct answer. Now, why might I be deeply unsatisfied with this approach? I mean, if you think about it, right, my PDF is so long, and I don't get to choose what topic I want to test for my MCQ, right? So actually, we can, and I understand, like some people get dissatisfied using ChatGPT because they think that this one prompt that I do is supposed to do everything. Yeah. So I learned that actually there is a way for us to recover more autonomy so that we have greater control in steering how we want ChatGPT to do what we want it to do. Yeah. So let me explain some things first. ChatGPT's output, each response actually, there's a limit. The word limit is 500 words. So if you ask it to do a very massive task, it will do it very badly because it is constrained by the 500 word limit. So how can we get it to do better? So there is this technique that I learned. It's called chain of thought prompting. So you take your big task, your big project, and you break it down into smaller steps where each step can be adequately done in 500 words. So here's an example, right? In order to get it to create an MCQ question of my choosing, right? Maybe step 1, I get it to list out all the topics within the PDF. Then step 2, maybe give me 5 issues based on the topic that I choose. And I like to use scenarios to test, right? So I say, let me choose a topic, the issue first, then you give me 5 scenarios. Then I will choose a scenario, then you come up with a question and the answer, and then give me 10 confounders. Let me be the one to pick the 4 confounders for the quiz. Right. So once I do all this, then restate the quiz questions with the 4 confounders and the explanation, right? So when we start to break down the task, okay, then we can get it to do very, very fine-grained, very, very precise, exactly to our needs. Okay. So let me show you an example. So as you can see over here, it starts with read the PDF, propose all the topics, and this is what it's doing now. Maybe I speed it up a bit. Okay. Oh, for some reason it keeps closing. Okay, never mind. So there are the topics. So now I choose the so I can even say, based on Bloom's taxonomy, I want to test the evaluation skills. Yeah, evaluative skills on Bloom's taxonomy. So now I say propose the issues. So now it's going to so I'm saying which issue am I going to choose? Engineering ethics. Okay. Okay, so from this engineering ethics, now it's going to give me scenarios. Whistleblowing, sustainability, AI and privacy, global equity and tech access, and autonomous vehicles. Again, I can pick the scenario and it's going to develop the scenario even further. Okay, so let me just fast forward this a bit. So give me the scenarios in whistleblowing. Okay. So now it's coming out with the scenarios. Scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. Then I get to choose lah. Okay. So in this case, I say I like scenario number 4. So I say now develop this question further. Okay, let me just speed up for you. Okay, develop the scenario with 10 confounders. Now, part of why I'm also showing you the prompt is to also teach you that prompts don't have to be one sentence long. You can be very, very detailed and very long-winded about what you want and what you do not want. So see, now it's writing up the scenario, okay? Then even gives you the dilemma, tells you this is the correct answer. So now I get to choose, I said 10 confounders, right? Here are the 10. So you can say, I like confounders 2, 3, 5, and 8. Okay, so let me just fast forward. So now I have the scenario, the question, the options, and the explanation. There we go. So this is how we regain our autonomy. We can even get that fine grain. Now, I know some of you are thinking and saying, wow, that means every time I want to make MCQ question, I need to write such long prompts. How can, right? So one of the amazing things about GPT-4 is that there's this new feature, right? If you click Explore GPTs, you can actually hard code all the instructions into the bot. There's a create, right? So you can create your own bots, and some people have created very, very useful bots. Let me show you one that I'm sure you'll find very useful. It's a YouTube summarizer. So if your YouTube video already has a transcript, okay, then it's able to pull out the transcript from the YouTube video, and you can talk to that transcript. Yeah. So here's the YouTube summarizer. Okay. And start the chat. So basically, I give it the link. I say, extract the recipe for making nasi lemak from this website, from this video. So you read the entire transcript that's on that video, and voila. Amazing, right? So if you have ChatGPT 4, you can play around with all this. Yeah, some people have already created their own bots, and we can also create our own bots. Yeah. Now, one of the amazing things that we can also do, okay, is this. When we design our own bots, we can also feed it with PDFs. Then it becomes a kind of knowledge specialist of sorts. But there's a trick here. For the longest time, I struggled with this because I was like, how come the answers are not good? It comes back to the chain of thought prompting. If, let's say, for example, I give it 9 PDFs, right? And I want it to synthesize information from 9 PDFs. I cannot say, here's 9 PDFs, give me the answer, give me the synthesis. It doesn't work that way. So what I need to do is to be more systematic and say, for each PDF, first identify the things that's relevant in each PDF. Then after that, from all the answers above, synthesize it. This is how we do the chain of thought prompting. So here's a quick demonstration. Yeah. So I'm asking the question, how is Li relevant to the cultivation of harmony in society? So what's happening now is that it is going through every PDF to highlight the relevant portions. Yeah. Okay. Now, in the interest of wait. Why did I do this? I clicked the refresh because okay. Sometimes the bot acts up. So if it doesn't go through, even though you instruct it, then you can click refresh and it will do that. So as you can see now, it's telling you this paper, this paper, this paper. Okay. Let me, in the interest of time, show you another interesting thing, which is this. You can also take from PDF. Oh, I think someone's microphone is unmuted. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can also convert PDF to comics. Again, once you understand how to do the chain of thought prompting, we can get it to convert a PDF to comics. So how can we do something like this? Let me run through with you how, okay? So it's a similar idea, right? We feed it with the PDF and we say, list out the topics. And then I will pick the topic and I say, give me the outline of the story. Yeah. Then after it has given me the outline of the story, I will say, okay, now convert that story into a conversation. Yeah. So you can see step by step, I'm making it happen, right? So now it's giving me the outline, and now when I say okay, convert the points raised into a narrative story. I even say yeah, it should be done in a yeah. Okay, so it gives me the plot. Yeah, so I got part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Then finally, once it's done with this, I say give me the conversation and give me the image prompts also, because I want to use the image prompt to generate the comic panel. Yeah, so you can see here, expand on part 1 of the story. You don't ask it to expand the entire thing, because right, it will only tell you a very short story within 500 words. So if I just say limit it to part 1, expand part 1, then you expand it as much as possible within 500 words. So panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4, panel 5. If I wanted to, I could even make subsections and ask it to expand each subsection. Yeah. So like here's an example, generate the comic panel for the first one. So I copy and paste the image prompt and it creates the image for me. So well, let me show you, here's the comic. Yeah. So we have the narration. There's panel 1, then panel 2, we have the conversation going on. Then we got panel 3, panel 4, and the last panel. Now, I'm excited about this because I'm going to use this next semester in one of my assignments, get to the students to think about how to craft a story. Yeah, so they are like the big boss, the supervisor, overseeing the story, make sure that the story is sound according to the theory that they're talking about, and the visuals are interesting, so get them to play with the creative juices. Now I'm coming to this part about image generation and editing. This one, I'm focusing first on DALL-E, which you can access through ChatGPT 4. Yeah. Now, already I showed you that you can get it to produce images, right? Now, one thing that they introduced very recently is image editing. Yeah. So here I got it to generate an image of a grass plain. And then you can highlight a section and say, like in this case, I say, add a knight and a horse looking mightily up at the sky. Okay, so it's going to do that. And now I have a knight on a horse. And I can color this region. And now I say, okay, so I highlighted this and I say, change this to show a knight on a horse fighting a fire-breathing dragon. Of course, sometimes it doesn't go the way we expected. If you notice, I highlighted a bigger area. I was hoping the dragon would be bigger, but they gave me a baby dragon. So these are some of the things that we need to refine in the prompts that we generate. Now, that is image generation with GPT-4, right? ChatGPT-4 using DALL-E. For those of you who use Adobe, you all have the Creative Suite subscription. There is this generative AI that Adobe has released. It's called Firefly. So I want to show you Firefly's capabilities because it is more powerful than DALL-E. Okay, so I'm doing something similar. I say fantasy art style of a vast grass field. You will notice, wait, let me just pause over here first. You will notice that unlike ChatGPT, it will actually produce 4. So I can have 4 images and I pick the one that I like very much. Okay, I can also edit and do the same thing. Yeah, I can edit, same thing lah. You color the area and say, give me a knight. Yeah, a valiant knight riding a horse. Okay, Again, I can choose which kind of knight on a horse do I want. And notice how it blends in with the grass. Yeah, so now again, I want to do the same thing like knight fighting a dragon. Yeah. Okay, so this one, the first panel didn't work, but hey, the second one has a dragon. Third one doesn't quite look like a dragon. So I can use this, and if I'm happy, I can download and save. Now, Firefly goes one step further, that can do one thing that ChatGPT cannot do, which is I can influence the style and the structure of the artwork. Okay, so what do I mean? So let's say I get Firefly to produce like Peranakan batik style. All right, okay. Now, one thing I can do is, now, if you notice, right, I have this thing called style, visual intensity and strength, right? I can actually upload an image of the style here, and instead of showing me the knight fighting a dragon on a grass field like just now, right, with the green grass field, it is adapting the Peranakan batik style to produce images. that is closer to the style that I want. Okay, so this one is this one contains the knight and the dragon lah. Yeah, so you can play around with the visual intensity and the strength to get what you want. So there we go. So now I have a knight fighting a dragon in a kind of Peranakan batik style. I can also do one more thing, which is there's this thing called structure. Oh, there's also generate similar. So that means if I like this style, it will try to give me similar ones as well, so that I can pick and choose. Now there's this other thing here called reference. So it will try to conform the image to certain shapes that you want it to conform to. Now, I haven't tested this fully, but basically the idea is you could potentially draw certain shapes and it will generate the artwork to conform to that shape. Yeah, so in this case, the shape is a bit valley-like. So now I'm going to get it to conform to the Peranakan style, conform to the to this valley-like shape, and there we go. We have something closer and closer to what I want it to do. And of course, if you use Photoshop, this generative AI is also embedded within Photoshop. So here's the original image. This is me smiling happily in some place. Okay. I can click on this button called remove background and the AI will automatically remove the background. Now, one thing I can do is then after that I can say generate a background. So I say, okay, put me in an opera house. And it is able to do that. Now, one thing if you notice, the lighting direction is actually consistent. This is one thing that really impresses me. Now, what I did just now, I highlighted the entire person and I said wearing a suit. But what happened? He ended up replacing me entirely with this random guy wearing a suit. Yeah. So one of the things that we need to learn is how do we make our selection? How do we make our prompt? Because what we select, what we prompt is going to shape the final output. So of course, this was wrong. What I did was I highlighted my entire person. But if I only highlight the clothes that I'm wearing, okay, so let me demonstrate. So now I deselect and I only highlight the clothes that I'm wearing. And I say change to suit and tie. Wearing a suit and tie. It's able to replace accordingly. Again, notice that the lighting is consistent, the lighting and the shadows. And I can do something else. I can say replace the, give me a top hat. Just for the fun of it, right? Why not? Okay, yeah, wearing a top hat. So I think definitely this kind of tools, this kind of new features will definitely have implications for what we teach. I'm not an expert in this, but definitely we can have a discussion about this. What do we need to look out for? What do we need to explore with these kinds of new features now that we know about it? Yeah. Okay, so then the question that's worth asking is this. Having seen all that ChatGPT 4 is now capable of doing, is it a useful assistant or is it a cheating tool? Yeah, sometimes people can't help but fall back to this question, right? One of the things that I like to think about is this. People say it's a cheating tool because it's a shortcut. And when students are taking shortcuts, they are not learning, they're not exercising their muscle to develop the skill. If you look back into history, do you know who's the first person to complain about technology? It turns out that the first person to complain about technology is the philosopher Socrates. He said writing, it was the latest tech at the time. He said writing is going to implant forgetfulness in people's souls. No one is going to exercise memory because they're all going to rely on writing. And so nobody's going to exercise memory unless we motivate them by means of external marks. Isn't that interesting? And what I like to say is, it's funny. 2,500 years later, we look back at what Socrates said and we say, hey, what are you talking about? Writing didn't make us lazy. It made us better. Yeah. So in the philosophy of technology, we like to talk about there are two ways to think about technology. One is substitution, replacing human ability. That's the one that we are afraid that students will abuse and not develop the skills that we want them to develop, right? But just as how writing has helped us to grow, help us to think better, record more, transmit more, right? It is used augmentatively to enhance our abilities, right? Enhance our learning, enhance our thinking, even enhance our way of doing reflection, right? Then the question is, can we use generative AI with all its features, like writing, to help us approach it in an augmentative way? Now, a good way to approach this is the questions that we ask. So normally people would like to ask, how can I use AI to make my life easier? But I think a more productive one, which I have been trying myself, is how can I use generative AI to help me do even better. And once we frame our thinking in this way, we will start to find new ways and uses that helps to spur thinking, helps us to take our thinking even further. Yeah. Now, because of the topic of this session, I'm not able to go in depth into this, but maybe if you like, as a further discussion or in another session, I can go into this, like how can we frame activities to augment learning, to augment our work. Yeah. But I think let me just end with this question: how can we encourage responsible and rigorous AI use? Yeah. I think one of the most surprising things I found with, at least with FASS, that a lot of the A students, like they complain about AI is actually this. I don't like to use AI. Why waste my time editing the prompt or the output when I can do it myself? And then they also say my answer is better than the AI's answer. So then the question is, how can I get them to actually use it? Yeah. Now, and then of course for students who use it, there's this funny situation where if sometimes we say, okay, we let you use, but we want you to declare. And then actually there are students who say, hey, if I declare, isn't it like a trap? They're trying to trap us. So those people who declare, they were penalized. Turns out, I talked to some colleagues, like then we talk about journals. Like some journals ask you to declare, and then some of our colleagues also think the same way. If I declare AI use, is the journal editor going to reject my work? Right. So there's a certain mistrust over these kinds of declarations. So how can we deal with this in a better way? Now, I came across this paper at a conference, and it's very interesting because this guy is a British guy in a Vietnamese university. Yeah, his pitch is very enticing. He said, "How can I transform this problem, this academic integrity plagiarism issue problem, into a grading problem?" Oh, everybody sit up. I also sit up, right? How can we do this? And his solution was very brilliant. I'm very impressed. He says, well, maybe what we need is to give clarity to the students, an AI assessment scale. Yeah, and true enough, because when I talk to students, a lot of them, when they don't know whether their way of using AI constitutes as plagiarism or not. They think they're just doing research. Then there's some academics think that there's plagiarism, or they think they're fixing grammar, but some academics think there's plagiarism. So at least we can clarify with ourselves and with the students what our expectations are. And I love this because on one hand, we also can push the students, like those who are not sure whether to use or to cheat or what. This sets the tone. They know, okay, this is as far as the teacher allows. Very clear. And those people who don't like to use AI, we give them a reason to use. So basically, when we say like this is a level 1 assignment, that means no AI. Yeah. So honor system, we expect you not to use AI. Yeah. We can say maybe this is a level 2 assignment, so we only allow you to use so much AI. So then even those who don't like to use AI, they have to learn to use a bit, right? And we can penalize students for using too little or too much. Now, how do we know? We make them declare. Everybody has to, if it's a level 2 or to level 5, right? Then we say you declare. You can share the conversation transcript. So we want to see how did you interact with the AI to determine for ourselves how much of it was your effort. Did you do according to the prescribed level? So this is one way we can tackle this. So level 2 is AI assisted idea generation. So we can tell the students, this is how you talk to the AI, brainstorm, ask the AI, give you more ideas, maybe challenge your ideas, but then from there you write the essay yourself, you write the report by yourself. Another one is AI assisted editing. So how might it look like? We can say, okay, you do the work first. Okay, and in the transcript, the conversation transcript, we want to see evidence that you actually did the work. Then you ask the AI to critique, ask the AI to give you feedback, and then you work on the feedback. You evaluate, do you accept this feedback? Do you reject this feedback? Yeah. Another one is what? AI task completion, human evaluation. So we get them to make the AI do something, and then they evaluate the AI's work. I think this is good because then why? The students also start to develop the teacher's perspective. Oftentimes, a lot of students like to say, I don't know what the teacher expects. I don't know what the teacher wants. I just do, right? So this is a good way to make them pause, sit back, reflect. Okay, I'm developing the AI. This is bad. And then later on when they do their homework, they start to realize why they shouldn't do this and that. Level 5 is what we call, you just use AI in everything, but you be the boss, you be the supervisor to oversee the entire process. Now, what might level 5 look like? Because I know some of us might struggle with it. So level 5 could look like something like this, where we say, okay, your assignment is to you come up with the assignment question, and then you come up with the grading rubric for the question that you design. And then you use the generative AI to create examples of A grade assignment, B grade assignment, C grade assignment. So that gets them thinking about how to about all these things very creatively. Yeah. Okay. So one final thought before I end. I presented this in another university, and this is a overseas university, and in that university, one of the lecturers talked to me after the session, and she said, in our university, we don't actually propose courses from scratch. We buy courseware. We pay people to write the course curriculum, everything, produce the slides and everything, and then we edit and adapt from there, right? And then she said, there was one time there was a need for a course, but there was no courseware. So that was for the first time in her life where she had to actually propose a course from scratch, design a course entirely from scratch. And she said, starting with a blank document, struggling to develop a course proposal from scratch, it changes you, it changes me. And she said, I developed a mastery I never acquired from editing past courseware. Now, this struck me very deeply because we were talking about how, if we tell students, you can use AI to produce the draft, that's good for some cases. But if that becomes normalized, we may be in a situation where students don't go through what we call the productive struggle. Yeah? And that productive struggle, as this lecturer shared with me, is a very transformative process that helps us make a lot of new connections in our brains, in our minds. So we may have to face a future where students really just second nature. Every time they do an assignment, it's always a ChatGPT draft. We may have to do something where we have to, start integrating milestones where we make them pause and go through that kind of struggle. Already on my part of teaching, students don't like to reflect. They always say, I have no time to reflect. So I have to integrate certain milestones where I say, okay, let's all pause, let's reflect on this together. That's all right. Let's at least think about it and write something for a couple of minutes. So maybe we may have to do this as a way to counter people just automatically just generating drafts. I already met some students who say they do this as their normal workflow. So I don't know. Yeah, that is something that we may have to consider. Well, I've thought a lot already. Thank you so much, and I guess we can open the floor up for discussions. Yeah, I hope it was insightful.